Hello and welcome to another Articulate Outburst podcast. We're continuing with the song construction and the evolution of a track from the back catalogue. A lot of you have been in contact regarding this as to how we get things going, what the process is behind things, since we've interviewed the educator, obviously people now know that there's two sides to the band, in that there's the lyrics, which are predominantly me but not all the time, and then the music, which is the educator, predominantly as an embryonic thing, and then obviously we get the rest of the band in on it. I often think it's like putting it through the band sausage machine, changes it all together, but the general ideas are quite naive. I use a tape recorder or an iPhone, should I say, with the sound recorder on it, and any idea that pops into my head, I have a tendency to sing it roughly into the voice recorder. A lot gets deleted, and a lot is kind of kept as a kind of bit of an almanac really as to who, what, why and when. And it's proved quite useful in this occasion because a lot of you have been asking how things become what they become. So I'll make no more ado. Originally the song's called I Won't Share Your Delusion, and it's cock and balls in brackets. I think we know what it's talking about. Obviously the album was constructed with songs in mind to kind of detail the situation where we are today, the UK, Western world, as to what's prominent and what's not. And I think that's what punk were invented for originally, was to poke fun at what's there and thereabouts. So, although it does not go on about anarchy and peace, it takes a different view. Not tearing down the state so much as to pointing out the obvious parodies and obvious contradictions within society, poking fun at that, and in many respects a bit of tongue-in-cheek. But on top of all, great music, great sing-along anthems. And today is no different. This is how I Won't Share Your Delusion, Cock and Balls. It started off as a meagre song, and here's me singing it in November 2019. I won't share your delusion, I'll defend you in a fight. I don't agree with what you're saying, but defend you with all my might. So that's our opening track on this, and I think that that's quite poignant, that from the start it was I won't share your delusion, but I'll defend you in a fight. And we see that, don't we, across the board, that the trans activists seem to be the ones causing most of the trouble, where the transgender people seem to be quite getting on with life, and rightly as they should, in whatever guise they wish to do. And this is a kind of powder keg of problems for some reason. I don't see it as that. We've got an open and liberal society, we always have, and we've got a great tradition of tongue-in-cheek, parody, etc. And this is what this song is actually intended to do, while masking a deep-seated respect within there that if you needed any defending, it's not going to be on a keyboard, is it? So this was our first introduction to how we were gonna construct this. See if it gets any better from there. So that was in the November, and in the December, had it got any better? She's got a cock and balls, he's got a cock and balls, he's got a cock and balls. Cock and balls is a colloquialism, certainly up in the north. If someone's talking a load of rubbish, you do say, talking a lot of cock and balls. So I think cock and balls had to come into the chorus at some point. So it got a structure in the first vein, the first snippet you heard, which concentrated on the verse, the opening lines, then obviously cock and balls, which is the parody at the chorus, really, a bit of a parody if I'm fair. Let's learn a bit more. Come on, cock and balls. My singing is dreadful, but again, I think I've said before, this is not singing, this is me putting down my ideas on a tape recorder, and then we're off to the races. So then we didn't really do anything until the 11th of January, which is another month on. Let's see if it's got any better. that tells me immediately we're still in the kitchen at the director's house. There's a drum machine playing. Obviously I'm now singing it with them to see to shape the song, and as you can see it's completely different. So there we've got the full chorus written, and obviously this is just a phone on a table, so I'm not expecting anyone to be coming out with any awards for the quality here. What this is about is showing how something can go from, in 3 months from the original voice recorder through to what is now getting to be a bit of a song. I already know with the backing vocals in there that the unknown on bass is now involved with a little bit of the singing. Obviously it's a lot slower. We play them a lot slowly when we're first learning them, and then speed them up later on. I don't know if any of you out there have found that when everything's slowed down, certainly for learning riffs between you all, then ultimately by slowing it down gives everybody the tempo, and then it's just a question of speeding it up. So I'm just repeating the first verse, so the second verse is obviously not written at that stage. We're just trying to get the ball rolling with how it's going to sound. Obviously I've deleted several since then to make room on the phone, which is a bit of a shame really, because it had been a pretty bold move to play them all, but then this podcast is trying to be as interesting and as informative as it can be. You don't want to hear 300 versions of a song that sounded awful back in the day and has gradually got better. This is moving on to the August 2020, so we've gone from January to August, which is a fair bit of time. Now it says rough in brackets, which suggests it's not improved much, but we'll see, because a lot of this could be just down to the recording. Real drums, so the drummer, the porter, has obviously been brought in at this stage. These are actual drums playing, not the drum machines. That tells me immediately that we've got the full complement of the band there. So what we're going to do is advance it to the end of the, sometimes you get a few comments after we've recorded it to see what we all thought, so let's have a listen. I'm having them drum flurries. I always quite like the little bit of comments of the band chat at the end. Sometimes it's wee, and sometimes it's not so good, not so good. So really those are the kind of early, you can see from somebody just talking in the car to landing in a song. So that was from the 12th of November 2019 to the 26th of August 2020, and then from that this was born. Quite like that line. Even now, your supporters have the anger, they drag you down their way while you ignore the thought you could be bi or gay. Supporters have no stake, yet they're whipping up a storm. Boy or girl, we have a place, not every label fits a form. I've got to think that those lyrics are pretty good. Not every label fits a form is the educator, it has to be said. Boy or girl, we have a place, not every label fits a form. Credit where credit's due, that's in tail ending my lyrics, so fair's fair there. But again, it just goes to show what can be achieved by an idea, determination, pushing it through. And that was probably, because obviously we had COVID hitting, which ruined quite a lot. So although you're seeing 2019 to record it in 2022, well, 2 years out of that game, because we couldn't really do anything during that period of time other than bugger about and experiment with the weird stuff because we couldn't see each other. It just seemed to be the last 2 years, and not enough has been said about that. The cost, no one's been held to account. Was it the right thing? I mean, this inquiry is just going to chug on for years. But again, perhaps Articulate Outburst would be on the world tour by now. Had it not been for those 2 lost years. So that's another one from the embryonic stage to the, and obviously I appreciate there's some terrible singing in there, but like I said, just don't give up. If you've got an idea for a song, if you think it's going to be good enough, write it down, make a sound note of it, make a speech or any kind of dictaphone, I guess is the word that they used from my day. And get it down. These things can be, uploaded to the cloud. They never go away. I've got some business notes from 2014 on there. So it's just a great tool for any songwriter or anybody thinking about stuff to kind of get something down. And, years later, you could be going through it like I am, cringing all the way. But on the flip side, it goes to show how a song evolved and developed. And I think over the next couple of streams, I'm going to do a couple. I'm not going to labour it with every bloody song and wear everybody out, but I'm going to do it where I think it's interesting how it's come about and what it ultimately ends up as. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you could ring the bell, like and subscribe. We're now over 50 subscribers. I think 52 at the last count, so we're up to 50 subscribers. So I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get 70 subscribers by the end of June. Fingers crossed, 70 subscribers by the end of June. I realise this is not everybody's cup of tea and it's a bit niche, but from a songwriting point of view, from a based point of view, from any kind of anybody with an interest in what's going on in the current world point of view, and more importantly, if you're a musician or you're in a band, you'll understand the pains. Thanks everybody for the comments about my black eye. I think it's largely gone now. I'd love to tell you a little bit more heroic than it was, but I got a tennis ball plumb in the eye. I played doubles and it came right across. I was staring at it and it didn't get me on top, it didn't get me underneath, it got me plumb in the eye. So that's where the black eye came from. I think it's fading a little bit now. But thanks everybody for asking, thanks for your emails. It's info@articulateoutburst.co.uk. Anybody wanting to challenge me, anybody wanting to congratulate me, anybody wanting to say anything at all, please feel free to get in touch. We do read everything. And thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.